Hi guys, it's Carol. Got the dogs on either side of me. How you doing? I am doing okay. The itching has calmed down a lot. I mean, just almost gone. Um, I talked to my caseworker today, and she was asking me what did I think triggered such an attack. Um, there are panic attacks and anxiety attacks. And in an anxiety attack, usually it triggers a hormone that makes you feel the fight or flight response. Um, and I think that hormone just went berserk, and it just made me want to crawl out of my body and scratch everywhere. And that's just how it manifested itself. And I told her I don't know what would cause such a bad attack. And we talked about I'm worried about my son in Seattle, but uh, there's not anything I can do. He's a grown up, and I can't make him go to the doctor or take medication. No dogs, no barking. No, no, no. And then we were talking about how I'm doing, and I told her actually I'm doing well because I was able to read. I told her I started reading this book. Life with Ove, because I wanted to see the movie Life with Otto. And I told her I was able to read it. Sometimes my brain just shuts down and I can't comprehend things I read. But I told her I was able to read. And then I said, oh, that book was the trigger, because I stopped on page 105 when he hangs himself. As soon as he kicks the chair out from under himself, I stopped reading that book because I was just enveloped and overwhelmed with the panic and fear and emotional pain from back when I just had months of suicidal thoughts, and we decided that was the trigger, just bringing all that emotional stuff up. That was before I went to the mental hospital. It's been 13 years ago, but still, just that triggered something in my brain. So, and as I told Casey, I was just talking about it. I could feel the itching building up again. So she told me, use all the things in your toolbox to help you with panic attacks and anxiety attacks. Things that you can do, like deep breaths, and there's a bunch of little things that you can do. But anyway, I'm okay, and I'm not itching quite so bad at all. And thank you for your concern about that dust storm. It was quite a dust storm. I was going to watch Jeopardy, and in between Inside Edition and Jeopardy, a news break came on. And the weatherman said that for over 9 hours, we had sustained winds that ranged from 55 miles per hour to 75 miles per hour here for 9 hours straight. And of course, outside those hours, we still had wind. It just wasn't up to 55 miles per hour yet. And there was a horrible grass fire west of us that started a Sunday morning, and it's not contained yet, but it's 95% contained. Which, considering in this wind that they could fight that fire that much and get it almost out, is wonderful. It's burned 5,569 acres so far, but they've about got it whipped. And one of my subs asked, can you get outside when we're having a dust storm like that? Well, yeah, but you don't want to. But you can. People have to go to work and go to school, and you just have to deal with it. But your hair is going to be full of sand. Your nose, your ears, it gets in your mouth. Your skin is coated in sand. It's a dirty thing. Lots of electrical poles were blown down, electrical lines, and those poor guys have to get out in that weather and fix those poles. It's horrible. And they blew down all over town. I never lost electricity, but A lot of people did. It was a nasty wind. And in different places around the Panhandle, highways were closed down because visibility was so low. There's a little town 86 miles from us called Memphis, Texas. They had sustained winds at 114 miles per hour. I can't imagine that much. That's a lot. And then that storm moved on into Oklahoma, and there was a tornado at Norman, Oklahoma. So I'm glad we didn't get the thunderstorm, but I'm sorry those people in Oklahoma did. But this wasn't our first dust storm of the season. One day last week, it was so bad they closed down the loop. Amarillo has a loop. It's an expressway that goes in a big circle all around Amarillo. And Casey's dad, my ex-husband, lives out in the country, but you have to take the loop to get to his house. There's only one way into the subdivision and one way out, except for some back dirt roads. And she had gone to her dad's and wanted to come home, but they had closed down the loop because visibility was 20 feet, I think that's what they were saying. And so they closed the loop for a couple of hours because you just can't see. It's just dirt, just a cloud of dirt blowing through. But anyway, that's life in the Texas Panhandle. This looks hazy. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Well, anyway, I'm going to tell you about the books that I got to read. Oh, that book, A Dark and Snowy Night, that I told you about, that when I opened it and started reading it, I knew these characters. It was like running across an old friend. Well, that was the weirdest thing. I told Casey and I read the same books. She gets them at the library, and then we both usually read all of it, whatever she gets. When I opened that book up, you know, when you open a book up, oftentimes there is, this is not that book, but there's a list of books by that author. Well, in that one it said books by Sally Goldenbaum, and it listed 5 books in the Seaside Knitters Society series, including that one. And then underneath that, it had another small series that she wrote. Well, I knew that I read about these people in other books, and so I looked on Amazon and I looked on her website. Sure enough, there's 17 books in that series, not 5. I don't know if she changed publishers or there's something going on, what it is. But I went to Sally Goldenbaum's website, and it says click here for a list of the books in that series, and there's 17, not 5. The first batch comes under Seaside Knitters Mysteries, and then the last 5 are under Seaside Knitters Society Mysteries, but it's all the same people and a continuation of the same story. So if you want to read that series, start with I'll look it up. I think Murder Wears Mittens, I think, was the name of the first one in the first series that goes through. Anyway, this weekend I read Miss Julia, Happily Ever After by Anne B. Ross. Miss Julia, this is also a series. This is book 22 in that series. I just love them. They are just... Miss Julia is of a retirement age. She's never worked, but her husband's retired. I think they live in South Carolina. I'm not positive about that. And it's contemporary times, but I'm not sure what year they have this set in. But it's contemporary, not from way back when. But she has a housekeeper, and her friend has a housekeeper. These ladies cook and take care of the house for them. That's foreign to me. But anyway, she has a lady that cooks for her and takes care of the house. Her name is Lillian. And it's just good to read about Julia and Lillian and the other people in this series. Just a tame, nice story. That's what they're. They're just nice stories. Obviously, she's successful. This is book 22. And if you want to read a series about an older woman, just life happening, get the Miss Julia books. Now, this is book 22. You want to start with book 1. Okay, I've not read this one yet. Much Ado About Nautiling, by Gabby Allen. This is a first in a new series. It's about a woman, after far too many years in Los Angeles corporate world, Whitney Dagner has come home to Santa Catalina Island off of California coast to help her brother Nick run Nautically Yours, the family tourism business. She is going to pilot the Seabounder, a glass-bottom boat showing tourists the underwater sights of aquatic plants, marine life, and a murder victim. Well, I've always wanted to go to Santa Catalina Island. I've never been to California even, but I've always wanted to go to Santa Catalina, and I've always wanted to go in a glass-bottom boat. So I'm going to read about it. And then this one is also a series that I've read the entire series. I don't know how many books are in this series. Let me see. Well, I'll look it up and I'll type it in here. Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books come before this one. So this is book 10 in the Amish Candy Shop Mystery. The main character isn't Amish, but her grandmother, I think her dad left the Amish community and she went back and works with her grandmother in the candy shop. Peanut Butter Panic is this one that I'm going to read. This is a good series. I really like that Amish Candy Shop mystery series. And then I've got a book I'm going to try to read. I find it interesting. If there's any triggers like Life with Otto, I'll have to be careful. So it all depends. But this is called A Haunted History of Invisible Women. True Stories of America's Ghost. I'm going to try it. I'll see what I can read. I get emails from the library here of they just mentioned a couple of new books every now and then, and this was on that new book list. Haunted History of Invisible Women. And it's nonfiction. It's not fiction. So that's what I've got to read. I guess nothing else is going on. Everything's good here. I just need to calm myself down and take care of myself. I haven't started watercoloring yet. I'm not have too much anxiety to start that, but I will. And when I do, I'm going to have the camera on when I first start trying to paint a flower. This is amateur hour. I have never painted a painting. About 20, 25 years ago, I don't know, a long time ago, my son and I decided we were going to learn to water paint, and we got a book from the library. This is before we knew much about internet and dabbled with it. I found lots of videos online about how to watercolor, so I'm going to try to watercolor some flowers. This is going to be amateur hour. Don't expect much. Don't expect much, but I'll have fun doing it. And if it's halfway decent, I'll make bookmarks out of what I watercolor. But anyway, I guess that's it for today. It's a beautiful day here. It is 67 degrees. The weather, another weather blurb just came on. 67 degrees. The wind's only 19 miles an hour, which is like a breeze here. That's nothing. Sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Just an absolutely beautiful day. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you in the next video. Have no idea what that one's going to be about, so come back and see. All right, guys. Bye.